bells of the wind pushing round the tree. Old window panes letting in a little rain as they shiver and rattle. Some mullet and tobacco, paper to roll, rabbit slippers for a stroll, in a wolf hat and a robe. It's an old song, not long forgot. It's a sauntering band having trouble keeping time. It's a gray sky, long enough to make one wonder if they're looking at a veil from the other side. It's an old tale, and these stories bear repeating, for their meaning to be heard by those still wet behind the ears. Tell 'em about old bones on an altar in a field. Tell 'em old gods speak, even though we can no longer hear. Tell 'em rough roads often double back. If you don't know where you've been, then you don't know where you're at. Tell 'em about old wounds they ought visit, they ought walking through front doors that have never had a lock on a chalkboard. There's an old faded drawing, an unfinished poem, a cursive welcome home, and a child's handwriting that hasn't since improved.
Cabin Thoughts by River Glen, and we're here with the River Glen Trio live in studio. How are you all doing today?
Woo! Hello, Guelph.
Aloha.
Fantastic.
We're doing well.
And I will have you introduce yourselves by way of playing some of your amazing music soon. But first, maybe I'll just have you go through one by one and just introduce yourselves and what you play and do for the band. Start with David.
My name's David. I play the bass currently. Played some drums in the past with River. My current contribution is this fine upright bass today, though.
I'm Maple Flo. I'm River's sister. I'm going to play the violin with River, and then I'm going to pick up the mando and do some of my originals.
Amazing.
And my name is River. I perform as River Glen, and I'll be playing guitar and singing my songs for you all today.
And if my Bandcamp research serves me correctly, you're coming to us by way of the city of Dubuque, Iowa, in northeastern Iowa. Is that basically more or less correct?
It is. I've been paying my taxes there. I've been full-time on the road for about 2.5 years.
Amazing.
Since I lived in Guelph, actually. I departed Guelph back in 2023.
Incredible.
Yeah. And
Well,
these two, if I may, these two came all the way from Hawaii to be here.
Big Island.
Amazing. Well, we're glad to have you here, and I think we'll talk more about that because that is also related to another band that is also playing tonight at the Guelph Youth Music Center. But maybe we'll get a preview of some of the goings-on that's going to be happening tonight there. What are the first couple of songs that you're going to play for us today?
We're going to play a tune that's been well received for a few years now. It was our encore last night when we performed at Hartwood Hall in Owen Sound. And some folks,
shout out Owen Sound.
they let me know that they were delighted that we snuck this one in. It's a favorite to a number of folks. So we're going to play a tune called We Are Here. And it's kind of an exercise in how big of a thought and how many thoughts of grand scale can you fit in about a 2.5-minute song. And then we're going to play a tune that has a little more of a Midwestern sass to it, a little bit of a sarcastic tune that I wrote to kind of represent where we're from in the Midwest, in the States, and Canadians being polite, Iowa nice. It's kind of a comparable reputation that we both have, and so I wrote a little bit of a subtly sarcastic song about being from the Midwest, and it's called "Midwest is Best." So we'll kick it off with this tune called "We Are Here."
All right, take it away. River Glen Trio, live in studio, CFRU 93.3 FM.
We are here, spinning round a star, drinking dry the bar, with no plans of leaving. We are here, with good old friends around, will galaxies surround, and that must have meaning, 'cause we only ever where we are, 'cause we only ever play our part, with questions in our hearts and melodies in our ears, singing every reason where and why we find meaning, worth receiving, worth believing, repeating. We are here, all thanks to our sun, for all that we've become, for the heat and gravitation, for minds aligned in wisdom that's unwritten, can't be forbidden, can't be forgiven, cannot be hidden. This is hardwired to a system, this evolution. It's been proven, it's the truth, son. It's a revolution. We all come from the ocean. We all come from the desert. We all come from the garden. We all come from ancestors, teaching lessons in lessons. Every second's a blessing to be lived in love. Whoa. So here we are, spinning round a star, drinking dry the bar, with no plans of leaving.
Midwest is best, everybody. River Glen Trio. Midwest is best. Ooh, that's just something that we tell ourselves, to say we're more than just some flyover states. Midwest is best. Put it on a shirt, it's flying off the shelves, 'cause we're rich in idioms and family sayings. Midwest is best, yes, if you don't count our unlivable wages. We've got a lot of heart, but our Catholic guilt comes in spades. Midwest is best, the American dream, all its glory and neglect. The world's largest watershed, so beautiful and hella bent out of shape. We are the Midlands, the farmers, politicians pander to. We are the heartland, an example of what this nation's going through. Just look at the state of IOWA. Midwest is best. Can we make it true just by repeating ourselves? We tease that the coasts are so full of themselves.
yet our friendly disposition makes it kinda hard to tell. Our stake in this country's breadbasket getting wrecked. Ethanol empires and derelict rubber factories, hog lots and lead mines, and a sea of Roundup ready soybeans. The creeping omnicide, declining water quality, the deepening divides between rural and city folks politically. Midwest is best, sure. We're down to earth, but we're also mundane. We kill 'em with kindness like proteges of Mark Twain. Midwest is best. Just count the generations since our great somethings fled. The old country's where our ancestral bones are at rest. We slap a thigh and say goodbye by saying, well, okay then. Stopping at the door, we talk some more, and then we say goodbye again. The Midwest is best. Well, that's just something that we tell ourselves to say we're more than just some flyover states. Midwest is best. Well, that's just something that we tell ourselves to say we're more than just some flyover states. Midwest is best. Well, that's just something that we tell ourselves. We know we're more than just a flyover state.
River Glen Trio with We Are Here and Midwest is Best. Now, where can people find those songs, buy them online if they want to hear them again?
Oh, they can find me across the internet, River Glen Music. Glen with one N, RIVERGLEN Music. That's riverglenmusic.com. Across social media, at River Glen Music. As you mentioned before, riverglenmusic.bandcamp.com. Yeah, we'd be delighted to have folks following along. I'm sure the radio station is familiar that social media is both a pain in our butts and a necessary participation. So
Isn't that true?
we
Yeah.
invite folks, please and thank you. Do click the button and get your little endorphin, dopamine hit and give us that follow and like. Please and thanks.
Amazing. And especially with that last song, Midwest is Best, it really reminded me how I am constantly surprised by how apolitical a lot of new music is, given that there's such a wealth of potential political topics to talk about, even regardless of your political orientation, right? There's still so much out there. So what led you to like take on like more like topical political songs? I noticed on your Bandcamp you've been releasing music since at least 2013. Like, have you always had kind of a political bent to your music? Talk to me about that.
I have. It comes from our childhood. We were a homeschooled family with some alternative parents. I'll put that.
Guess from our names.
Yeah, River and Maple, and we're just two of the five kids. But our parents owned an organic grocery store. My mom is a midwife. They had us as a family band when we were kids, and it's kind of grown out of that alternative lens through which I've was born into and have viewed the world, and I don't know. I feel compelled to use my music and when I'm on stage with my platform, to be responsible and have a little advocacy. I'd say it really blew up when Bernie Sanders ran for president the first time in the States, because that was something that was a political awakening for myself and many others. We've absolutely been noticing, and I was queued up to this because, like I said, I used to live in Canada. I have landed immigrant status, but these two visiting, it's palpable, the tension between our countries, and it's a thing not to be shied away from, but to be, drawn closer and, really engaged with. And so we've been finding that, and we're here somewhat as ambassadors to speak to the fact that there are many, many, many good people in the United States, and we have a lot of work to do. And I'll just round this comment off by saying that one of the highlights of our show last night was this wonderful woman. I don't know if I got her name at any point, but on her way out, she just came to the show, didn't know anything about us, and she gave me a thank you and said we had restored her faith just ever so slightly about the American people, and that's
cool.
a big comment to be laid on, but we're proud to take it. Yeah, we're proud to take it.
Amazing. So Maple, have you and David, have you been part of the River Glen trio for long? Like, give me a history.
We might be the original River Glen trio, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, like you said, we grew up in a family band, and when David joined the family about 25 years ago, it was an instant, connection between these two for sure to be playing music. So we've been kind of following River around, and yeah, he offered up this opportunity, and of course we were like, well, yeah, we're gonna come to a place we've never been and meet new people, and of course get to see River's history here in Guelph and in the area, and it's been a real delight.
And you, Maple and David, are also coming here to Guelph as part of another band called Bloklava, who's also playing along with the River Glen Trio tonight at the Guelph Youth Music Center at 75 Cardigan Street. Doors at 6:30. You don't want to miss it, because not only are you going to hear River Glen Trio, which we've been hearing, but also some of Bloklava, and we're unfortunately not going to, I think, be able to hear any Bloklava songs right now. We're missing some band members, but tell us a little bit about Bloklava.
Well, our fearless leader, Taliesin, I know she'd like me calling her that, but she's been studying Balkan music for a long time. She's our accordion player, and she brought it to us on the Big Island to say, this is, what I do, and we instantly fell in love with the style, the time signatures, the wacky keys, and it's just been really fun to get to know that kind of music. So that's what we're a Balkan group, and Bloklava, of course, is, we're on the Big Island, which is an active volcano and full of black lava. So that's where our name comes from.
Yeah, it's an incredible pun. Just incredible stuff.
Thank you.
And so maybe we could hear a little bit more music.
Indeed, I'm gonna pass the baton to my sister here to
incredible.
Sing you some of her original music.
Yeah, and my stuff is a little bit more bluegrassy kind of style.
With the mandolin.
With the mandolin.
Incredible. Can't wait.
It is. All right. This one's called Bramblin' Girl. I was standing on the corner of a lame and lonesome town, looking for an adventure I thought I already found. I ain't saying where it came from, I'm bound, I don't know, but I better start heading. Got a long way to go. I wanna go round, 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 round this big old world. One tiny town can never hold this rambling girl. Yeah, round, 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 round this big old world. One tiny town can never hold this rambling girl. My daddy, he told me the day that I was born, there was mischief in my eyes. Said he could have sworn. Well, sorry, Daddy, ain't been easy since that day, but the love that you taught me has taken me a long way. Yeah, round, 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 round this big old world. One tiny town never hold this rambling girl. Round, 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 round this big old world. One tiny town never hold this rambling girl. River, cut it up. before she left. I was a few days old, and it was too much to handle. 'Cause love's a heavy load. But years have come and gone, and I've had one foot out the door. But don't worry, Daddy, I'm coming back for sure. But I go round, 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 round this big old world. One tiny town can never hold us a rambling girl. Round, 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 round this big old world. One tiny town can never hold us a rambling girl. Mountains high, and ocean wide, I wanna see them all for the day I die. And when that day comes, throw my ashes to the wind, let them carry me back places that I've been. Yeah, round, 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 round this big old world. One tiny town never hold us a rambling girl. Round, 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 round this big old world. One tiny town never hold us a rambling girl. All right, the next song I want to play is it's called Kalapana, and it's a little story about sitting down by the ocean side where we lived during the pandemic and attempting to fish. I'm not a very good fisherman, especially because all I catch is rocks. But David's a more patient kind of person. He's good at untangling the lines, and that little area there got covered by the lava in the late 80s. Took out the town of Kalapana and left just one little spot called Uncle Robert's Kava Bar. And it's become legendary. It's a music spot. If you do come to the Big Island, come check it out. Uncle Robert's Ava Bar. So this little song I wrote about, sitting down by the ocean. Well, you and me could go fishing in the sea. Baby, do you wanna grab the poles and head down to the shores of Kalapana, where Kapuna liked to teach how this used to be a beach? Half a mile sparkling black sand and the best surf on the whole dang island. Well, you and me could go fishing in the sea. Baby, do you wanna grab the poles and head down to the shores of Kalapana? Well, me and you could go walking through Camus, out across in lava, head down to Uncle's, get a cup of kava. Well, you and me could go fishing in the sea. Baby, do you wanna grab the poles and head down to the shores of Kalapana? Well, you and me could go fishing in the sea. Baby, do pond. Let's one more time. Well, you and me could go fishing in the sea. Baby, do you wanna grab the poles and head down to the shores of Calipana? Grab the poles and head down to the shores of Calipana.
Incredible. That's Bramblin' Girl and Calipana, both songs by Maple Float. Amazing stuff. Incredible stuff. David, I can't help but notice, I have a little bit of experience playing like electric, regular fretted bass myself, and you are playing today this amazing electric upright bass.
Thanks to Long and McQuaid's, as a matter of fact.
Incredible. Like, what would you do you have, so you're renting this instrument currently?
Yes.
And because I imagine that flying around and traveling around with an upright bass can be pretty onerous stuff.
Cost prohibitive.
Yeah. Would you? I'm so curious about this, and you seem to be the right person to ask. If someone is interested in playing upright bass in general, whether they're making the leap from your more horizontal basses, or you're just trying to play bass for the first time, is electric bass a good place to start, or should you really get one of the big ones to start off with?
I think it depends if you have, if you're coming from guitar already, like if you have experience with a string instrument, particularly guitar, it's the same tuning, same spacing and the frets, just larger, the intervals are the same, it's just bigger reach with your fingers. I would say go straight to upright. Almost in any case, go straight to upright, because the electric is a different beast. The acoustic upright, the double bass as it's known, is a unique instrument, and it's quite different than the electric upright because of primarily the tone and the way you feel the instrument up against your body when you play it. It's a very special experience. But I would say if you can get your hands on an upright, they're not always available. Once again, Long and McQuaid's, I'll plug them. You can rent or buy one from there. But I would say go straight to upright. Don't take a pit stop at the electric, because it's a different beast, and the tone and everything will kind of lead you maybe in a different direction. And you would be surprised if you play guitar how easy it is to translate that over to a fretless instrument.
And the world needs more double bass players. So
Yes.
Everyone
we
should
do.
play the bass.
Concur.
So please and
I
thank you.
concur.
Play the bass.
Yeah, we can't go out without him getting hit up. Like, hey, would you play bass in my band?
Yeah, someone tried
Oh,
to
yeah?
someone
Who's
tried
the
to
guy?
outbid him on a gig for tonight. They were like, "We're playing in Kitchener Waterloo, and why don't you just skip playing the Guelph show, and we'll pay you double what he's paying you." And we were like, "Ha! Tricks on you! I'm not paying him."
Hey, that's
Well, and also funny story, we'd actually rented a stand-up bass from Long and McQuaid's, and we got there earlier this week to pick it up, and they were like, we sold it. So that's the reason for the electric bass. Normally David doesn't play the electric upright, but they have one coming for us today. The rest of the band is picking it up on Owen Sound. So
you heard it here,
Coming
folks.
through.
If your goal is to be a musician in demand, take up the upright bass.
Upright bass.
That's
You walk
honestly-
in the room
Okay.
and everyone just stops what they're doing and stares, and it doesn't really matter what your skill level is. They're already in awe. They're already sold. Just the
Amazing.
presence of the instrument. It is amazing.
And I guess kind of a question for Maple about the amazing mandolin you're playing. Like, do you write songs for the mandolin, or are you writing a song and then at some point you think to yourself, this is a mandolin tune?
I'm curious. I think maybe I started out on the ukulele with that song, but I mostly play mandolin in our band in Hawaii just as a more lead instrument. So I don't know. I transfer 'em between all the instruments, but the mando does have a certain groove to it.
I agree with that. And I noticed, I was reading over this gig you're playing tonight. Again, if you can't get enough of this stuff, you're in luck, because tonight, doors at 6:30 at 75 Cardigan Street, that's right here downtown Guelph. It's Iowa to Ontario 2026. Now, River, I'm getting the sense reading the description here that this is kind of has been sort of an annual sort of ongoing project for you. Is that right?
It is. It has been a way of connecting Iowa, where we're from, with Ontario because I fell in love with so many people here in my time living here for a couple of years. And so to give myself a reason to keep coming back and to show off the artists and friends and peers and family members from back home, I created this annual tour. And so every spring, sometime in the spring, I bring up another musician, and we do just about a weekend or so of shows. And that way I can offer people, year after year, that they come back not only to hear my tunes and to hear the new songs that I've written, but to do something a little special, because also I'm sure listeners out there can relate, and especially the musicians. There's not a lot of smaller time musicians are being offered an international tour, and so I have the connection from having moved here, heavy investment up front in order to establish the infrastructure, but it's a lovely thing. And in each city, I also am pairing with local artists. Last night, No One Sound, we had Jesse Corrigan and Dave Snyder, and I know that Dave has connection to Guelph through his work with Magpie, the band, and his bandmate, Marnie, whose birthday was just recently. Happy belated birthday, Marnie, from Magpie. Marnie's going to be opening up with her tunes. She goes by Bramble Lee when she plays solo. And then we have a duo called Cowboy Medicine, and I am really looking forward to hearing them in person. So we got our local support, and then, as you mentioned before, Baklava is it's too exclusive. We can't even play any on the radio for you. It's only to be handled IRL, and so you'll have to come on out to the show tonight. Doors at 6:30. Music starts at 7 at the Guelph Youth Music Center.
Yeah, that sounds pretty incredible. It's very fair. $20. Pay what you can for all that music, and kids only $5. It's a pretty incredible deal. And I guess I got to ask you, because I think I think all of you are in a pretty unique situation where not too many people can so intimately compare the Southwestern Ontario music scene with the Iowa music scene. Not too many people have both of those first-person experiences. And it's kind of interesting when I think about it, because, you have, in both scenes, you have some cities, like the one we're in right now, Guelph, but then you also have like a fair amount of rural identity as well. So there's some similarities, but I imagine there are some differences as well. How do those two music scenes compare to each other in your experience?
Well, I notice a lot of small but mighty is how I might characterize it. And I don't want to overstep on claiming to understand the music scene in each of the cities here in Southern Ontario.
In your subjective experience, of course.
Yeah, of course. And in my understanding, it's it's healthy. There's like in the smaller communities of musicians, you get a lot more support. It's not characterized by a competitiveness, a cutthroat nature. There's a lot more sharing and a lot more big upping each other. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to directly compare Guelph to Iowa City. Guelph is, if you ever go to the States and you go to Iowa City is like Guelph. KRUI is the radio station there. Yeah, that's how I would characterize it. Is it this fits not only musically but in a larger sense. Speaking of the political dynamics and the cultural differences, as just a way of saying the reason that we support and celebrate diversity and the differences between us. The reason for celebrating the differences is that there's so much about us that's alike, and that is something that I think each of the Iowa artists who's come up has been like, oh, this, not only the topography and the land feels like home, but there's something about the people here that also feels familiar. The kind of folks who, like, if you broke down and had a flat tire, somebody pull over and help you. That mentality it's a through line.
And I'm really excited about the amount of musicians we met. Two of our bandmates from Baklava just moved to Owen Sound. Taliesin is a Canadian, and they moved back here in January. And we're just stoked to help them meet community and get to know other musicians. And it's just like every other person was, oh yeah, I play the violin, or oh, I'm an accordion player too. It's been really awesome.
It's really encouraging to hear people moving to Owen Sound. My sister lives in Owen Sound, and so I think the narrative is that, like, I think these days Fergus has become as populous as Owen Sound. Kind of people are moving away from. So it's for her sake and everybody's sake in Owen Sound. I'm glad to hear that people and musicians are moving there. That's great to hear. Do you have any, I can't off the top of my head maybe name any musicians or acts, except for you guys, of course, from Owen Sound or Iowa. Do you have any Owen Sound or Iowa scene bands to shout out? Maybe I'm trying to do some research for some of my future radio shows.
Oh, let's see. Well, you're going to want to...
Jesse, right?
Yeah, Jesse Corrigan.
He opened last
Jesse Corrigan was one of the opening acts last night. The maturity in those melodies and the finger picking, and he had a song that he sang about sailing, which was actually about the desire to go sailing. I don't think it was about sailing. It was about the desire to. And that, it struck me in the, like, leaning towards you getting into the Jim Croce or, like, some just nods to great songwriters in his stuff, and it took you on a journey. And then for an entirely different reason, a very vulnerable, intimate, almost in a good way, fragile sense, Dave's offering, Dave Snyder's tunes. So I'd shout them out. The Sauntering Band in Durham up there, I would shout them out.
And I'd say you want to check out Iowa musicians. Check out River's album As Above, So Below, which features over 150 different Iowa musicians.
Yeah, that's right on my website. I was...
How did that project come together? How did you get that many musicians together?
So the way it played out was that I was running around singing my heart out, doing the bar scene thing a number of years ago, and there was a poet are they from Trinidad? Deborah? Yeah. So a poet from Trinidad who had moved to Iowa. She was serving the Iowa Arts Council as a fellow, and she approached me after the show and complimented my lyrics, complimented my songwriting, and encouraged me to look into this fellowship with the Iowa Arts Council. I had never written a grant before, so I, as a good sport, I thought I was applying for practice. Lo and behold, I was awarded it. And it's just like a thing you can have once in your life. You're the fellow for the Iowa Arts Council, and I was one of on the younger side of folks who've received it, and I was just delighted to get to run around the state and present and talk in art museums and different events all around the state. And at the end of that fellowship, they like that their fellows kind of go directly with the resources and the learning that has occurred into a project. And when thinking about it, I thought that the largest asset that I have available to me is my community, is my family and friends and musical elders and teachers. And so I submitted that my project would be the most Iowa album ever created. And in order to cross that definition, I got many of the working musicians from our home state on there. So it is about 170 some individuals, but it just sounds nicer to say over 150 singers and musicians. There's so many beautiful voices. It's all my original music. It spans through genres. It's 17 tracks long. It's like a folk rock opera. There's whole choirs in it. It goes into New Orleans jazz band. There's a bagpipe on it. There's
the Iowa...
Oh, one of the whistling, I think she got like second or third place, but the whistling champion from the state fair is on it. So
okay,
it's
that's awesome.
The liner notes have all the information in there, and folks are encouraged to check that out at riverglenmusic.com. It's called As Above, So Below. And and the first track we played here today is the opening track off of that record.
Incredible. Well, we have about 10 minutes left. Do you have a couple more songs for us?
Sure do.
Incredible. And then we'll remind everybody about where they can hear even more of this amazing music later tonight. All right, take it away. River Glen Trio, live in studio, CFRU 93.3 FM.
Roads seeking counts are deeper than the roads of fixed truth. Curtain up, Fergus, working like a tenant potato farm. Blight, famine, family dies. Now he's sailing over oceans. After Liverpool whales, working on the rails, hooking up a Molly, ooh, until she put a wager on him meeting his maker. Hey, it was just a nature, don't judge. Cut off from their ancestors. What's any human to do? Speak what you remember, call your elders back to you. Peace in the kingdom, feast in the mead hall. In the middle of the toast, a rap tap tapping at the door. Who died? The son of a mother whose name we fear we don't speak no more. come to ask about some food. Our offerings, who are they for? As old ways are remembered, some old gods get their dues. Roots of seeking count, so deeper than the roots of fixed truth. Yeah, roots of seeking count, so deeper than the roots of fixed truth. Hold up there, Gilgy, you big think you know it all. I hate to break it to your buddy, but Ishtar ain't within these walls. Look out, Humbaba, here comes some lesson trauma. We about to start the drama for the sake of growth. About to give birth to surplus, we gon' make all them seeds fall. Advent of the stranger, just to read between the proofs. Roots of seeking counts, deeper than the roots of fixed truth. Yeah, roots of seeking counts, deeper than the roots of fixed truth. Yeah, the roots, roots, roots. Yeah, the roots, the roots, the roots. Yeah, roots, roots, roots. Yeah, the roots, the roots, the roots. Yeah, the roots, the roots, the roots, the roots. Yeah, the roots, the roots, the roots, the roots. Yeah, roots, the 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 roots of Jean de Brebeuf, living by the hospitality of when dead people think it's clever trying to missionize their offspring. Witness to the final feast of the dead, yet he misread listening for a Lord's Prayer, cause he and his God don't entertain the unbaptized ancestors. Well, when they care for their bones, wisdom in a tooth, roots of seeking counts are deeper than the roots of fixed truth. Yeah, roots of seeking counts are deeper than the roots of fixed truth. Yeah, roots of seeking counts are deeper than the roots of fixed truth. Living in the woods would be nice, far from the city noise and incessant lights, to be neighbors to some nature, neighbors to some nature. Yes, magic's real in nature, not since always, maybe still, in languages not spoken by many humans of this age. So we retell countless stories, how the past has pled its case. We meet countless present dangers when we come face to face. At the heart of many constructs, down to the charging our electrons, humans separate from nature. Has it really always been this way? Oh, baby, you're a bit laughable. Yes, baby, we are the status quo. Our habits, look how bad it is for consuming to be king. The magic's real in people, not as it once was, but still. We are tragedy, we're comedy. We cannot escape from our technology. For all our claims to power, for all our claims to fame, our insatiable desires have become a deity. are our refuse in the oceans. We are no time for an old friend in a time of need. We are good times with our good friends in times of disease, where the story of what once was still faintly echoing. While we show no love for the old growth, we dysregulate. While growth for the sake of growth already has a name. We are bombs, we are bullets, we are people in pain. We are a growing addiction, seeing ourselves in everything. We are peaches and cream, we can't just pick what we like. We are the coming debate of whether water is a right. We are being human, and it's a dying skill. Yes, being human is a dying skill. So living in the woods would be nice, far from the city noise and incessant lights, to be neighbors to some nature, neighbors to some nature, neighbors to some nature, neighbors to some nature.
Neighbors to Nature and Roots, both from the River Glen Trio. Well, there's definitely some, Southwestern Ontario Indigenous history in that first song. And I think there might have been even a Fergus shout out.
Yeah. It's actually Fergus is a fictional character from Peter Barron's novel about immigration to the Americas after the Irish potato famine.
Right. Okay.
So, but it does sound like a Fergus shout out, doesn't it?
It sure does,
Just to say,
especially
River-
when you compare it with the, like the Braebuff, Southwestern Ontario references for sure. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Maple, you were saying?
I was just say River just made quotation marks in the air, but we're on the radio, so I was
There you
just gonna.
It was for you.
Right, thank you, River.
Yep.
No, but that's really great because the music, because of your biography, it's coming from afar, from Iowa, but it also seems very familiar at the same time. So I think it's going to be a really great show tonight. Doors at 6:30, 75 Cardigan Street, the Guelph Youth Music Center. It's not only River Glen Trio, but it's Black Lava, it's Bramble-Lee, and it is... Oh, I'm blanking on the
Cowboy
fourth.
Medicine Duo.
Thank you, River, saving me there. The bill is so long that I can't even remember it all. It's going to be a fantastic show. And where are you headed after this? This is not the end of your tour, is it?
Correct. We'll be headed to London next, and then we'll cross back over to the States and head over to Ohio. We're excited for Unity of London Church on Sunday afternoon. We're going to be performing there, so if folks hearing this have their family or friends in London, send them on out. We're doing that as an all-ages show as well. We want parents with young children, kids of any age, to be able to come out and enjoy some music as well. Keeping the shows accessible with the no one will be turned away for lack of funds approach, and featuring talent both local and from afar. So we hope folks will come out and join us. It's in the recital hall at the Guelph Youth Music Center, so it's going to be a great show tonight.
Fantastic. Can't wait. Well, I am going to play you out with one of the songs from your newest album, When Water Becomes the Focus, for the next 46 seconds or so. But Viejo Teca coming up next. Thank you so much to the River Glen Trio for being in studio, and best of luck with your show tonight.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. It's been wonderful to be here.
Woo.
Now the saddest of all songs.
When water becomes the focus of ours, someone's got to